Hello, hello. How are you doing? Today, this week on your free live coaching sesh, we are talking about the spiritual spoke. So each week I've been coming on and just giving you some tips and how-tos and things to think about on this thing we call life. So a little bit about me. For those of you who don't know, I am Liz Montigny, and I help you transform your vision board into reality, one simple choice at a time. And like I said, I come on here weekly and just offer you a little food for thought. And if it's something that you want to dive deeper into, then you should definitely drop me a note and we can set up a strategy session to just review all of that and tell me what you're working on and tell me what you need help with because I want to be there for you. So if you are joining me live, please say hello. If you catch the replay, I would love to know that too. I'm going to start off today with just a little brief intro, shall we say, to my coaching style and why I got into all this. So basically, as most of you know, I have had the pleasure, really, I love my job, of offering all of you and educating all of you on the non-toxic version of the things you use every day. And I've been doing that for 6 years, and I really started to love running my own business and making my own hours and all of those things, as well as coaching customers, coaching teammates. That all feels really good to me. So I wanted to take it a step further and become a licensed Ziglar Choose to Win coach. So that's what I do in addition to my non-toxic lifestyle business. So I think they go hand in hand really well. And I'm just so excited and feel blessed to be able to help people live their purpose. I mean, that's pretty awesome. All right. So just to dive in a little bit, basically, I help women especially find balanced success. So for those of you who are entrepreneurs running your own businesses, maybe you're getting burned out and you're not quite sure how to do that balance thing, because it can be tough, but it is doable. And sometimes, it just takes some simple changes, but you need that perspective, you need that accountability, and that's where I come in. Also for moms, we are pulled in so many different directions, and a lot of the moms I know are running their own businesses, and they need help. They definitely need some help along this way of life. So I love to step in and help them out before the burnout happens. That's huge. And if the burnout did happen, then, we figure out how to navigate through it. And also, all those people who have tried all the things, have joined all the groups, and they still feel like nothing is clicking. Again, love to talk to you more about that because that was me. All right. So how do we do this navigation? How do we go through this wheel of life, which you'll see in my description on this live? Basically, the Ziglar way is that we start with your mental, spiritual, and physical sides of your life, those parts of your life. And why do we start with those three first? Because that's really the foundation for everything else that you're going to build, right? Your mental, your input, how you speak to yourself, what you're listening to, what you're taking in, the spiritual, which I'm going to talk about a little bit today, which is really your belief system and the values that you live by, and how that helps, navigate you through the rest of your days and your life. The physical spoke, that is going to give you the energy that you need and the fuel that you need to do all these amazing things that you want to do. So if you're not treating your body well, if you're not getting proper sleep, guess what? You're probably feeling really off. So that's something you need to work on. And I do have a link in this description on this live to one of the downloads on my site. It's completely free. You don't even have to opt in for this particular download. It's on the Wheel of Life. Basically, print it off, mark your wheel. If your wheel's really small, like a spare tire, like a donut, we should talk about how to expand that. And if your wheel has a flat in it, like there's some dips and ridges, we should talk about that too. And if you have, a monster-sized truck, congratulations. We should be talking as well. All right, so check that out. And then the other spokes on the wheel are family, right? Because once you get the mental, spiritual, and physical locked in, who can you help, right? It's going to start with your family. Financial, the financial spoke, and how we can help alleviate maybe some stress around that, or, what are the things you need to do to make some better decisions there. Personal can be so many things. I know for a while I had a lot of my career stuff in my personal bucket. That didn't make a lot of sense the more I thought about it, because your career doesn't completely define you. So if you need some help with that, we should chat. And then last but not least is the career spoke and where you want to go there, because you need those foundation pieces first. So that's just a little bit there, but you can check it out more on the site, which is lizmontignycoaching.com. And that's in my description here. So, all right, so let's check it out. I'm going to talk about the spiritual spoke today because recently lost my mom, and also I had another confirmation this morning on that reason why I should be talking about this, as well as I listened to a podcast yesterday that was talking a lot about it too. So I was just like, all right, we're going to talk about this. So sounds good. So now for those of you who don't necessarily identify with a traditional faith or religion, you can think of this spiritual spoke as the values in your belief system. I know all of you have that, okay? And if you don't, there's something not quite right there. So please take a look at that, because your character, your integrity, and your principles and values, those are spiritual qualities, I feel. So that's what I mean about that there. So don't let the word spiritual scare you away. Okay. So that's what we're talking about here. And maybe it's something, I have some tips for you on how to just enhance that for yourself. One thing I want you to think about is how you start your day. We all hear about the morning routines. I've created a little morning routine in myself. I've got stuff on my blog about it, on my Pinterest board about it. But, rather than go into super detail on that, what I've noticed about, my own practice and anything else that I've read about morning routines is there's always that element of focus, the spiritual, if you will, and just getting grounded. And, if you start with first things first, that's going to help your entire day. I found that so to be true. If there is a day where I have kind of, skipped my meditation or my quiet time, I do feel off. And I've talked to other people who feel that way as well. So if you are finding that you are feeling really unfocused, super scatterbrained, and you feel like you're just putting out fires all the time, I would really encourage you to take a closer look at what you are doing in the morning and where your head is at in the morning. If you're grabbing your phone right away and just scrolling, put that phone away. Challenge you to put that phone away. If your phone is your alarm clock, set it up across the room or something, which is something that I do. It helps a lot. So really take that time in the morning, because it'll help you focus and have purpose rather than be just quote unquote busy, right? Everybody's busy. What about purpose, right? So think about that. Now, if you have done your wheel of life, that little download I'm talking about, and it's looking really askew and that spiritual spoke is whoa, way down there, or you don't even have to take that assessment and you know you need some help. I have a few ideas for you on just some examples on how you can fill that spiritual cup of yours. So the initial thing you want to do is identify those bad habits. Maybe it is you just wake up and go instead of taking that time to get focused and you want to work on that. Sure. Or maybe it's that you're feeling like you are not being intentional with your relationships. That's something I want to work on. I have 3 young boys and I'm homeschooling for the first time. So I do need to work on that. So how can you be intentional about growing those relationships? Here's an example. You could, for say 2 weeks, write down the name of the person that you are thankful for and think about why you are thankful or grateful for them. Say a prayer for them or just think on them and try that for 2 weeks and see how that kind of changes your perspective or your outlook or even how you relate to that person. Now, after those 2 weeks, I would go back through and take it a step further. And here's how you have to get braver and braver because, you know, you're not going to grow where you feel comfortable. You got to put yourself out there and do the work. Okay. Go back through that list that you've created for 2 weeks. So you should have a lot of people on there, or either a lot of people or the same people, right? Keep popping up. And go through that and make it real. Send them a card. Send them a random text. Anything, right? Reach out to them and let them know that you are thinking of them and that you're grateful for them. Well, that sounds good. Doesn't that sound fun and nice? Yeah. I do something similar with my boys. A couple times a week, I'll write a little note that says, I love you because, and I'll give a different reason each time. And I love handing it to them. I hand it to them, you know, just when it's the 2 of us. And I love seeing their face change, right? Because especially with 3 boys, I'm always like, do this, do that, you know? So it's nice to just let them know mom's thinking of them and loving them in different ways, right? A third example of ways that you could show, build that spiritual cup, fill that spiritual cup and show people that you're thinking of them is asking them, getting curious about their life. You know, the tell me more questions. You have a friend who is traveling. Well, they're probably not traveling so much these days, but maybe they do on the regular, or they're constantly sharing their memories of that. Why don't you ask them a more curious question, like, why do you love that place? And why do you keep going back there? And really listen to their answer. Sometimes it could really surprise you. So just get curious and work on that. Okay. The fourth and final example I'll give you is just being intentional about these life transforming steps that you can take and just working on it every day, making it a part of your routine. And each day, you know, if you can't start it in the morning, then definitely end it in the morning with that gratitude and being thankful for those important people in your life, because that's just going to keep building you up. And once you start, you know, feeling that spiritual goodness and that gratitude, it's hard for fear to live in a place of gratitude. They don't mesh. So you'll start to see those changes come up for you, even though you're focusing on somebody else. It's It's pretty awesome. So I hope you try and go for that. And if you do, please reach out to me and let me know how that helped you. Like I said, more ideas on my site, or even better, please reach out to me. We can get on my schedule, and we can really dive deep into what you're working on and how I can help you through a strategy session. They're a lot of fun. Not only fun, but huge breakthroughs. And I love the time that I get to spend with people in those sessions. And I make the time to do that for you, for the person on the call. So that's why I'm here. Help you live your purpose. Huge. All right, I hope that helped you today. That's this week's free coaching sesh. I'll be back next week. And be sure to check out that free download on the wheel. And if you have a spiritual practice or a focus practice that helps you on the daily, please share it here. You never know who you're going to help. All right, bye.